Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Emily, in case you've never seen any of my reviews or videos before, and typically I'm known around these YouTube parts for my reviews of television series such as and especially Dexter. I've also done The Walking Dead, I'm doing Bates Motel, starting Hannibal this Thursday, and some Breaking Bad this summer too. So I'm continuously adding to my repertoire of film and TV and things on the big screen and the little screen. So I'm going to be breaking down for you guys today my reactions to Iron Man 3, which I caught at a fun special showing on May 2nd, and I enjoyed the living crap out of this movie. I will tell you that much. So I'll start off this review by just giving my overarching emotional reactions to this movie and letting you, the lovely viewer, know if you should see it, if you have not yet seen it. And then the rest of my review will be kind of spoilery as I sort of explore some of the issues in plot and character development, dynamics, and all the fun nitty-gritty details of this insanity. So I had filmed this review earlier and it was half an hour long, so I thought, I don't really want to subject anyone to that much of myself talking about one movie. So I thought I would try this again and try to condense my thoughts and just really hone in on what I'm trying to say. So yes, I'm also known in my TV reviews for the incredible, heinous length of my videos. I am pretty much untamable when it comes to talking people's ears off via the internet, so I apologize. So let me get on with this bad business. So first and foremost, for those of you who are like, Emily, I don't want to get up and get dressed, the carpet is too comfortable, I just want to lay here, should I really go see this movie, is worth it? And to those of you who are in that position, I will ask you the following. Do you like fun? Do you like joy? Do you like explosions? And above all, do you like Robert Downey Jr.? Because if yes to any, or quite possibly all of those, then I'm gonna tell you, get up off of that thing and go see you some Iron Man 3, because you will be far, far from disappointed. It is a truly riotously entertaining movie. I mean, people say like, oh, it's a knee-slapping good time, talking about whatever it is that they think is a knee-slapping good time, but it's like, who really slaps their knee about it? I do. I'm not even kidding you. I seriously did not have enough knees to slap during that movie, so I was slapping the knees of people next to me and just abusing people from my own inability to contain my entertainment at this movie. So luckily the people around me are people I knew, but I probably would have slapped them anyway, even if I didn't, because I was having too much fun. What can you do? What can you do? It's Marvel, it's superheroes, you just gotta go all in. And it's, yeah, the film, we really see Tony Stark in this movie. He's in a very different position from that which he's been in the previous two films. We see that he's been really deeply impacted by his experience in the Avengers movie, and he's struggling with anxiety attacks, and he is just unable to really know where he is at, and so just kind of can't sleep, can't focus, and so in this state of complete craziness that he's been worked into, he's creating all of these experimental super suits and just kind of running around and letting his mind go wild, but he's kind of lost a sense of self. He's so consumed in his work and just wrought with, the terror of the experience that he had in the Avengers movies and everything that he's endured up until this point. And so we see him in this movie, we see him really in a vulnerable place, and that's not typically where Tony Stark is at. And so it's really interesting to see him struggle and to see, there's this struggle between, does the suit make the man, or does the man make the suit? So what happens when Tony is without the suit? What happens when it is just him and his mind and he is left in the elements, And so he's really tested by fire in this movie, and I think that was very cool to watch. And and very satisfying and exciting and eccentric, as you can only imagine. So I would definitely say if you haven't seen it, go by all means. You will have a fantastic time. That being said, I know that some people approached me and they had some issues, and the 3 things with which people were the most frustrated overall was, number 1, the Mandarin. And trust me, I get you. I get where you're coming from, so I'll talk about that. And then number 2, the extremis, however you pronounce that madness. Yeah, so I'm gonna say extremis. The extremis plotline. And, what's his name? Aldrich Killian, I believe his name is. So the incorporation of that dude in the extremist program and all of that. And then some people also were kind of frustrated about the use of Tony's arsenal of experimental supersuits and how that was kind of pulled off. So, firstly, I totally get where people are coming from when they say that they're frustrated about what happened with the Mandarin, okay? It sort of reminds me of, for those of you who have seen Wolverine Origins, okay? I think you guys know where this is going if you have, but one word, Deadpool, right? Everyone was expecting the Deadpool of the comics. You know, he's the merc with a mouth. He is absolutely freaking insane, and in that insanity, absolutely hilarious. But in the movie, he is completely and utterly the opposite of that. He doesn't even have a mouth when he becomes Deadpool. He is literally a pool of all of these random abilities, but that's not who Deadpool is. And so everyone was really frustrated by that with that film, which I understand because I was in that parade with my pitchfork and torch. So I totally get it, because what we're expecting with the Mandarin, you know, is what, you know, we got a little taste of it in all the teasers and the posters and the trailers. And from the research that I did, I'm not a complete and total Iron Man buff, but I did a little bit of research on Wikipedia because I want to be extra knowledgeable for you guys in making these reviews. And evidently, the Mandarin is the arch nemesis of Iron Man, okay? So kind of a big legacy for the movie makers to fill in crafting this character. He is, you know, supposed to be this crazy egomaniac? That's not... megalomaniac? I think that that's the term. He's, you know, all this world domination, super terrorist, crazy smart scientist slash martial arts wizard. He's kind of got it all, you know. So he's the ultimate enemy for Iron Man slash Tony Stark to face. And, you know, so when Tony actually goes in all ninja and finds this guy, it's just a sloppy drunk of a British actor who got picked to be the poster child of this freaking terrorist organization that is actually being run by Killian. And from what I understand, I think the name is Killian. I feel like I'm getting all these names mixed up in my mind. But his plotline wasn't introduced into the comic literature until like 2005. So it's kind of a more recent installment of a character. So it's interesting that they completely conflate, you know, the huge super nemesis of Iron Man with this random science guy who is who's the head of the extremist program, you know, trying to make new super soldiers and regenerate limbs, yada yada yada. Whoops, everything goes terribly wrong. If your body doesn't metabolize it properly, then you'll blow up. And yeah, we're gonna go straight to your thighs and then you'll blow up. Yeah, so I know that some people were kind of frustrated that, you know, we're waiting for this huge moment, the huge confrontation scene, everything is going to explode, and then it's just this funny little drunk guy who apparently has no idea the terrible, heinous crimes have been committed under the guise of the Mandarin who he's been pretending to be this whole time. It's just, for some, it's very maddening, and I get that. I think, however, to me it was a very clever, if not ballsy, move of them to completely subvert our idea of who this villain was going to be, and to prove that, you know, Killian himself was actually the Mandarin. He establishes himself as such by the fiery end of this film. And yeah, so to say that that was unexpected is definitely an understatement for me. I didn't see that coming. In fact, you know, when the quote-unquote the Mandarin was talking to Tony Stark, and he's like, I'm just some guy, just doing my thing, hustling in the acting world, and you know, I landed this gig. And when Tony turns around and he's kind of like, what should I do with this information? I was expecting him to like bust out and just start like beating the crap out of him, and I still thought that he was kidding about kidding, but he wasn't, so I was doubly confused in this movie, okay? And I take that as a testament to clever, tricky writing, and I can appreciate that. You know, I think it was an entertaining move. It was fun and ironic, again, all that irony in Iron Man, just who would have thought they would dare? Even dare. Yeah, but so overall I was satisfied with how it went, and I think that they did a really good job of making Killian out to be as bad as he really is, because it's like, you know, he is just such a seedy villain in that, like, he's too cowardly to even take the blame for everything he's doing. He puts it on someone else completely. Someone who doesn't even know what the crap is going on, and then the vice president is in the whole mix, and it's just this huge, messy, fiery conspiracy, and we get to see in the process, you know, after Tony gets his house blown up and he's freaking stuck in Tennessee with nothing but the shirt on his back and a poncho that he stole from an Indian statue, and this smart little kid that he's constantly harping on. I absolutely love that dialogue, by the way. I have never laughed so hard in a Marvel movie, I swear. But yeah, so I think it was all really fascinatingly pulled off, and I was really compelled and entertained. So, you know, it's no sweat off my back. You gotta take these things with a grain of salt sometimes, because the filmmakers, you know, they're faced with the challenge of having to take, you know, from this huge, massive block of the comic literature and figure out, you know, who they want to take in and have face the main characters, and they only have like two and a half hours in which to really accomplish that. So sometimes they kind of, you know, they sort of take this character here and they tweak this thing here and this situation here, and they kind of like combine and twist everything so that way they can have the time to really make an engaging story, something that's going to draw people in, be interesting, and kind of, you know, speak to everybody on some level. So it's kind of what they're trying to do. And then some people were frustrated that we didn't really get to differentiate enough between all the different super suits, like all the different things that they can do, because you'd imagine that Tony would make them all fundamentally different if he's going to bother to make so many. And in the action scenes, they are very fast-paced, and it's really difficult to really visualize and comprehend what's going on in the insanity that we're seeing, and just trying to be like, wait, who, what's going on? And I thought it was really cool, you know, how he was working with like the suit that would like transport itself to him. He'd be like, whoosh, and then like everything would just build itself around him. And I think that'd be pretty freaking cool in my normal life. Just get up and like, strike a ninja pose, and then my shirt's just freaking, oh hey Emily, I got you, woo! And then like my pants are just like, oh hey, let's go, and then my pants are on, and then just everything's good to go. No sweat off my back. I'm just saying that'd be cool. But yeah, it was kind of hard to see, what all the different suits did. Like there's like the mega meaty fat bulk master Hulk style suit, and then there's like the one that had the knife, and just all those little things. So some people are frustrated that the suits were kind of, their different capabilities were sort of minimalized in the midst of the action. But I think it was cool. I think it was a cool tribute paid to the mastery of Tony Stark as much as ever. And and they didn't have a ton of time to be able to explore that, and it would have been cool, I agree. But I think that overall, just the balance of the film was really great. We got to see Pepper Potts in kind of a cool role. She's sort of elevated to a place where she hasn't been before. And Her and Tony certainly have an intriguing relationship, to be sure. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had the problem of your boyfriend, you know, sending out his supersuit to take you on a romantic date while he's busy building other supersuits that will probably take you on other romantic dates. I mean, that's kind of a that's a hot mess right there. So it's interesting that, you know, the personal journey and the search for, you know, in Tony for who he really fundamentally is through all of this craziness he's dealing with, it kind of coincides with his struggle in his relationship with Pepper. And I'm glad that in the end they got that whole thing with her getting the extremist serum, got that all taken care of, got the shrapnel out of his chest, you know, taking care of those errands that he was, you know, he was too distracted from to deal with before his house was blown up by a super terrorist. So it all works out. And yeah, so we do find in the end that it's the man that makes the suit, you know. Tony freaking proves himself that he is capable of a lot even without his suit. And it is from his genius and his desire to, you know, protect the innocent, to do constructive things for humanity, that he produces these suits. You know, he is something, he is a substantial human being even without them, without any material possession. And I think that's kind of a cool point to be proven, and that, you know, the other films didn't really have the opportunity to explore that as much. So I was really impressed. I liked it a lot. And there's so much I could go on about. I also love that they started the movie playing Blue, Eiffel 65, yes. And, you know, just as soon as that song came on, like they're doing like the little, you know, little Marvel intro that they do on all the, on the movies. And then everyone just hears it and it was just like this, whoa, whoa, gotta get down. Like, I swore everyone was just gonna stand up and just like start freaking dancing. It was good. It was really good. What else am I missing? God, there's so much. Yeah, so we get to see a lot of Tony stripped down and just hand-to-hand combat and seeing him make do with what he's got. You know, he's just the mechanic, but there's certainly a whole lot more to him than that. I loved his interactions with the little kid. I think his name was Harley. That was really neat, and getting to see him fight the extremist people hand to hand was intense. And I love, you know, Tony is just unfazable. The humor is a constant stream from this guy. It is just a constant overflowing of his cynical, awesome soul, and I love it. I love it. And I think that for those of you who haven't seen it, I think you'll enjoy it. For those of you who saw it and took issue with different things, I get it, you know, there's always those things, and you know, stuff that gets lost in translation when trying to make a film like that. But overall, I'm extremely pleased with how everything came out. I would totally see it again. I give this movie 10 out of 10 fake mandarins. I guess so. I was saying to my brother earlier, thinking about how, you know, Tony is just as confused about who the Mandarin really is. You know, he's just as confused as the rest of us. So I called it the inception of deception, you know, because it's like deception within deception and all this dramatic irony. Well, actually, dramatic irony is when we know something that the main character doesn't, but as it turns out, we were all just kind of ignorant about it. So I feel like I had a good practical joke played on me, you know, and there was still something volatile and exciting behind it, you know, so it wasn't just like the whole movie collapsed into this awkward comedy like, well, that was just a pretty interesting misunderstanding. I'm gonna go, you know, rebuild my house and make sure my girlfriend doesn't hate me. You know, I mean, I think the film did a good job of tying in everything together, just all the different villains, the different motives, and where everybody was at. I liked it. It's good. So thank you so much for listening to my review. I will also be reviewing The Great Gatsby soon. There's been a lot of hype behind that, and I want to see if the movie lives up to it. So Thank you, thank you. You guys are all wonderful and amazing, and continue, please, to be as fabulous as you are. And if you have any other thoughts and things that I didn't get the chance to address in this, then please comment. I love to respond and have fun talks with you guys. You're all kind of my faraway internet friends, and this is where we just get to hang out and have verbal picnics and comics and nerdy stuff. It's good. Alright, y'all, take care. I'll be back before you know it.